one guy that before we let you go, Rob, one guy that I'm really concerned about in particular is Bo, because when he gets cold, it is ice cold. Um, I'm looking at him. He needs a contract. There's no more arbitration after this year. Sell me on why you think that he should remain a Blue Jay after this, if you do believe that, and what that contract looks like. Because, even in the home opener, like defensively, he's had his shortcomings too, and he sailed one over top of first base, an error right away in the home opener. Do you believe this guy should be and will be a Blue Jay beyond this year?
I'm willing to be convinced, but I'm not convinced as we sit here today because
What would it take for you to be convinced?
it would take what we talked about prior to the season, and that's be the Bo Bichette of 2023 and not the Bo Bichette of 2024, and nothing like the Bo Bichette of 2024. And I think throughout most of his big league career, he's been able to work his way out of these slumps and these inconsistencies and these poor approaches at the plate. He didn't last year. Part of that was injury related. And we're starting to see some of those warning signs creep in a little bit this year. Bo's an interesting dude personally. He strikes me as a bit of a brooding kind of guy. He's very quiet, soft spoken, very intense though. But when things don't go well, he wears it hard, whether it's for himself personally in his own performance or for the team. So I'm thinking of all those guys in the clubhouse with that, losing 8 of 9 or 7 of 8 or whatever it was. He probably wore that harder than anybody else. And that's not a good sign. You got to be able to rise above that. He started the season okay. He was hitting pretty good, and we saw some of those signs of 2023 Bo. But the last couple of weeks, we're starting to see some of the frailties move back in again. So, back to the original question, what would it take to have him become a Blue Jay in the future? I mean, he's got to bounce back. He's got to lead the team, be one of the leaders offensively. And then I think probably the contract demand has to be somewhat reasonable. I have no idea at this point what it looks like. Is it more than 300 million? Is it more than 25 million a year? I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's so much of that is performance driven on what he accomplishes this year. And now that the Jays have spent all that money on Vlad, are they really going to want to spend a huge contract long term to keep Bo in the mix? My sense before the season was that he was going to play it out and test free agency anyway, and I suspect that's going to be the case. But how he performs is going to determine how much he's going to make and from where.